In the ancient lore of the Nath yogis, there lived a great master named Yogiraj Matsyendranath. He had crossed the restless ocean of the mind and awakened the hidden power of yoga within himself. Neither praise nor insult disturbed him. Neither comfort attracted him, nor hardship frightened him. Wandering from one sacred place to another, he carried only his begging bowl, his yogic staff, and the invisible wealth of divine knowledge. One day, during his travels, Matsyendranath reached Chandragiri, a village in Bengal. In that village lived a virtuous Brahmin and his devoted wife, Saraswati. Their home was filled with prayer, charity, and reverence for saints, yet a silent sorrow remained within it. Many years had passed, but Saraswati had not been blessed with a child. Whenever she heard the laughter of children playing outside, her heart filled with longing. That day, Matsyendranath stood before her door and called out, "Alakh Niranjan!" The sacred call seemed to awaken the entire house. Saraswati came outside carrying alms. The moment she saw the radiant yogi, she felt that an extraordinary being stood before her. His eyes were calm, yet they appeared to see the secrets hidden in every heart. She placed the food in his bowl and bowed respectfully. Matsyendranath noticed the sadness upon her face and asked, "Mother, your home is blessed with devotion, but your heart is burdened. What sorrow troubles you?" Saraswati folded her hands. Tears gathered in her eyes as she replied, "Maharaj, God has given me food, shelter, and a good husband. I should not complain, yet I have no child. This emptiness has become the deepest sorrow of my life. If your heart is moved by compassion, please show me a way." Matsyendranath reached into his bag and brought out a pinch of sacred ash. It was no ordinary ash. It had been sanctified by mantra, austerity, and the power of realization. Giving it to Saraswati, he said, "Mix this ash with kheer and consume it with faith after bathing at the proper time. By divine grace, you will bear a glorious son. He will not live merely for your family. He will be born for the welfare of the world. He will master the mysteries of yoga and awaken countless souls. After 12 years, I shall return and guide him upon his destined path." Saraswati received the ash as though she had received a treasure. She bowed at the yogi's feet, and Matsyendranath continued on his journey. For some time, Saraswati remained filled with hope. But later that day, a few women from the neighborhood visited her. During their conversation, she told them about the radiant yogi and showed them the sacred ash. Instead of sharing her faith, the women filled her mind with fear. "How can you trust a wandering yogi?" One of them asked. "Who knows what this powder contains?" Another said, "There are true saints in the world, but there are impostors as well. What if this ash harms you?" Their words slowly covered Saraswati's faith with the dust of doubt. Her heart told her that Matsyendranath was no ordinary mendicant, but her frightened mind whispered of danger. At last, fear defeated trust. Carrying the ash outside the village, she threw it into a pit where people discarded cow dung and household waste. She returned home, but peace did not return with her. What Saraswati did not know was that the blessing of a realized master could not be destroyed by mud, dung, or neglect. The sacred ash remained within that forgotten pit. Seasons changed. Rain fell, the sun shone, and layers of earth and cow dung gathered over it. Hidden from every human eye, a divine mystery began unfolding beneath the ground. 12 years passed. As he had promised, Matsyendranath returned to Chandragiri. Standing once again at Saraswati's door, he called Alakh Niranjan. Saraswati came outside and immediately recognized him. Her heart trembled. She remembered the ash, her doubt, and the promise she had failed to honor. Matsyendranath looked toward the house and asked gently, "Mother, where is your son? He must be 12 years old now. Bring him to me. The time has come for his initiation." Saraswati lowered her eyes. She tried to remain silent, but truth could not be hidden from the master. At last, weeping with shame, she confessed everything. She told him how the neighbors had frightened her and how she had thrown away the sacred ash. Matsyendranath did not become angry. His face remained peaceful. "Show me the place," he said. Saraswati led him beyond the village to the old pit. By then, many villagers had gathered around them. Matsyendranath stood before the great mound and called in a commanding voice, "O Hari Narayan, child of divine light, if you are within, come forth. Your guru has arrived." For a moment, there was silence. He called a second time, and the villagers held their breath. When he called for the third time, a clear voice arose from beneath the mound. "Guru Dev, I am here. I have been waiting for you. But this great heap covers me. Please have it removed so that I may come out." The villagers stared at one another in astonishment. They began digging with their hands and tools. As the layers were removed, a radiant boy appeared, seated in meditation. Though he had remained beneath the earth for 12 years, his body was pure, his breathing serene, and his face shone with supernatural brilliance. The boy opened his eyes and looked directly at Matsyendranath. Without confusion or fear, he came forward and bowed at the master's feet. Matsyendranath placed his hand upon the boy's head and blessed him. "You were protected in a mound associated with cows, and the divine power preserved you there. Therefore, you shall be known as Goraksha, the protected one and the protector. The world shall remember you as Gorakhnath." Saraswati watched with tears streaming down her face. Her motherly heart longed to embrace the child, yet she understood that he had not been born for an ordinary household life. The one whom she had rejected through fear had been accepted and nurtured by destiny itself. Matsyendranath consoled her. He taught her that regret could not change the past, but sincere prayer could transform the future. A blessing, he said, must be received not only by the hands, but also by faith. Doubt turns even nectar into poison, while trust can reveal a flower beneath a heap of waste. Gorakhnath then left Chandragiri with his guru. He did not look back with sorrow, for from the moment he touched Matsyendranath's feet, the path of yoga became his home. The guru and disciple traveled through forests, villages, mountains, and sacred lands. They slept wherever night found them and ate only what came through alms. Matsyendranath taught Gorakhnath the discipline of the body, the movement of breath, the concentration of the mind, and the awakening of the inner power. But more important than all these teachings was the lesson of complete surrender at the feet of the guru. During one journey they rested near a village. Matsyendranath told Gorakhnath that he was hungry and asked him to seek alms. Gorakhnath went from house to house, calling Alakh Niranjan, but received nothing. At last, he reached a house where a religious feast had taken place. The woman of the household saw the young yogi and gave him many delicious preparations. Gorakhnath carried everything back and offered it to his guru without tasting even a morsel. Matsyendranath ate the meal and praised one particular preparation. Then he said, "Gorakh, I would like to have one more. Return to that house and ask for it." For Gorakhnath, the guru's wish was a sacred command. He immediately returned to the house and called for alms. The woman came out and was surprised to see him again. "I have already given you more than enough," she said.
"Why have you returned so soon?"
Gorakhnath replied humbly, "Mother, I carried the food to my guru. He especially liked one preparation and has asked for another. Please give me one more so that I may fulfill his wish." The woman misunderstood his devotion as greed. She accused him of using his guru's name to satisfy his own appetite. Yet Gorakhnath remained calm. "I have not tasted the food," he explained. "I ask only because my guru has commanded me." Still unconvinced, the woman spoke sarcastically. "If your devotion is so great, what will you give me in exchange?" "I own nothing," Gorakhnath answered. "Yet for the sake of my guru, you may ask for whatever I possess." Looking at him mockingly, she said, "Then give me one of your eyes, and I shall give you the food." She expected the young yogi to become frightened and leave. But Gorakhnath accepted her demand without hesitation. Before she could understand what he intended, he removed one of his eyes and held it out upon his palm. When the woman returned with the food and saw him standing there with blood upon his face, terror and remorse seized her. "What have you done?" she cried. "I spoke carelessly. I do not want your eye. Take the food and go."
"Forgive me." Gorakhnath accepted the offering, but showed no anger.
He even asked her to take the eye, since he had agreed to the exchange. Overcome with shame, she retreated inside and begged him to leave. Gorakhnath covered the wound and returned to his guru. He placed the food before Matsyendranath as though nothing unusual had occurred. Seeing the cloth over his face, Matsyendranath asked, "Gorakh, what happened to your eye?" "It is a small injury, Gurudev," Gorakhnath replied. "Please accept what you desired." But nothing could be concealed from the master. When Matsyendranath insisted, Gorakhnath told him the truth. Even then, he did not blame the woman. Instead, he pleaded, "Gurudev, she spoke without understanding. Please do not be angry with her." Matsyendranath's heart filled with joy. The test had revealed not only Gorakhnath's obedience, but also his compassion. A disciple willing to suffer for the guru might be strong, but a disciple who forgave the one who caused that suffering was truly ready for divine knowledge. Matsyendranath cleansed the eye, placed it back in its socket, and uttered a powerful mantra. By the master's grace, the wound disappeared and Gorakhnath's sight was restored. From that day onward, Matsyendranath opened the inner treasury of yoga to his disciple. He instructed him in sacred mantras, meditation, control of the life force, and the subtle mysteries known only to realized masters. Tradition remembers that divine beings blessed Gorakhnath with wisdom, courage, and spiritual power. Lord Narasimha granted him strength to overcome obstacles. Lord Ganesha blessed him with penetrating intelligence. The Divine Mother bestowed fearlessness, and the grace of Shiva illuminated his path. Yet Gorakhnath never desired supernatural powers for personal glory. He regarded them as passing shadows beside the light of realization. To him, the greatest power was mastery over one's own mind. The greatest pilgrimage was the journey within, and the greatest treasure was unwavering devotion to the Guru. Once, while Gorakhnath practiced the life-restoring Sanjivani mantra, some village children approached him. They were making figures from clay and asked him to create a little chariot driver for their toy cart. Gorakhnath continued repeating his mantra while shaping the clay. His mind was so deeply absorbed that every movement of his hands carried the force of his spiritual practice. As soon as the clay figure was completed, life awakened within it. The figure became a living child. The children ran away in amazement, and the villagers gathered around. Matsyendranath explained that Gorakhnath's mantra had become so powerful that it had infused life into the clay. The child was later known in Nath tradition as Gahininath, who would himself become a great yogi, but Gorakhnath did not remain to receive the admiration of the crowd. He knew that public fascination with miracles could become a golden chain around a yogi's feet. He and his guru quietly left the village and continued their journey. As the years passed, Matsyendranath and Gorakhnath sometimes traveled together and sometimes followed separate paths. During one such period, Matsyendranath entered a mysterious kingdom traditionally called Triya Rajya, a realm governed by women where the entry of men was forbidden. There, through a strange play of destiny, the great master remained in the palace of Queen Mainakini. Time passed, and Gorakhnath learned that his guru had stayed in that kingdom for many years. Some said Matsyendranath had become surrounded by royal luxury. Others believed the master was enacting a hidden spiritual purpose. But to Gorakhnath, one truth was clear: a disciple must not abandon his guru, even when the guru appears lost to the eyes of the world. Gorakhnath reached the border of Triya Rajya, but no man was allowed to enter. Near the border, he encountered a company of female musicians traveling to perform in the queen's court. Concealing his identity through yogic power, he joined them in the appearance of a woman and entered the kingdom as a drummer. When the musicians began their performance before the royal court, Gorakhnath played the mridanga, but the drum did not produce ordinary rhythms. With every beat, a message echoed through the palace. "Awaken, Matsyendra! Gorakh has come." The sound entered the deepest chambers. It crossed walls, ornaments, music, and royal distraction. It reached the heart of Matsyendranath. "Awaken, Matsyendra! Gorakh has come!" Queen Manakini understood that the mysterious drummer was no ordinary performer. She ordered each musician to play the same drum, but in every other hand it produced only common sounds. When Gorakhnath touched it, the sacred message returned. The queen confronted him, and Gorakhnath revealed his true form. "I am Gorakhnath, disciple of Yogiraj Matsyendranath," he declared. "I have come to take my guru back to the path of yoga." When guru and disciple finally stood before one another, Gorakhnath bowed. He did not insult the queen, condemn the palace, or accuse his master. With humility, wisdom, and unwavering love, he reminded Matsyendranath of the freedom beyond every pleasure and the immortal kingdom hidden within the self. At last, Matsyendranath agreed to leave. Queen Manakini was filled with sorrow, but she knew that a son cannot be imprisoned inside a palace. Before their departure, she secretly placed a brick of gold among Matsyendranath's belongings, hoping it would protect him during his travels. As guru and disciple journeyed through a lonely region, Matsyendranath repeatedly looked behind him. Gorakhnath noticed his uneasiness and asked, "Gurudev, what danger do you fear?" Matsyendranath replied, "There may be thieves upon this road." Gorakhnath immediately understood that some burden was producing this fear. When an opportunity arose, he examined the bag and found the golden brick. He threw it away and replaced it with an ordinary stone. After they had traveled farther, Matsyendranath discovered what had happened and asked, "Why did you discard the gold?" "I wish to use it to feed saints and wandering ascetics." Gorakhnath pointed toward a nearby mountain. Through his yogic power, the mountain appeared to shine like gold. "Gurudev," he said, "for one who has mastered the inner treasury, what value does a single golden brick possess? Wealth kept in a bag creates the fear of thieves." True wealth is that which can serve others without binding the heart. Matsyendranath smiled. The guru had tested the disciple many times, but now the disciple had become the voice that reminded the guru of renunciation. Such is the mystery of the highest spiritual relationship. The true guru does not create a follower who remains weak forever. He creates a disciple who becomes established in truth. Gorakhnath continued wandering across the sacred land. Kings bowed before him, but he preferred caves and lonely forests. The poor approached him, and he listened to their suffering. Seekers came for miracles, but he directed them toward discipline. Some asked for wealth, some for children, some for victory over enemies, but he taught that the uncontrolled mind was the first enemy to be conquered. Many disciples gathered around him. Some were proud, some stubborn, some broken by suffering, and some hungry for truth. Gorakhnath did not judge them by their appearance. He looked for the hidden flame within each heart. Under his guidance, princes abandoned arrogance, ordinary villagers discovered inner strength, and wandering seekers became accomplished Nath yogis. He taught that the human body should not be despised, for it is a sacred vessel in which the highest realization can arise. Breath could become a bridge between body and consciousness. A disciplined mind could become clear like a spotless mirror. But austerity without compassion, knowledge without humility, and power without self-control could never lead to liberation. His words were simple but sharp enough to cut through illusion. He warned seekers not to become trapped by empty arguments, external display, or pride in religious identity. The divine he taught was not confined to temples, forests, scriptures, or sects. The one called Alakh was unseen, yet present in every being. To recognize that presence, the seeker had to quiet the noise within. Tradition remembers Gorakhnath walking through lands separated by mountains, rivers, languages, and kingdoms. Wherever he went, stories of wonder followed him. Yet behind every wonder lay a spiritual teaching. When he filled an empty vessel, he reminded people of divine abundance. When he made the impossible possible, he broke the pride of those who believed only in appearances. When he refused luxury, he revealed the freedom of contentment. When he forgave insult, he demonstrated mastery greater than any supernatural achievement. His compassion extended even to those whom society rejected. Before him, the rich and poor stood equally. A king had to surrender his pride, while a beggar had to surrender his despair. Gorakhnath saw neither high birth nor low birth. He saw only consciousness hidden beneath layers of ignorance, just as he himself had once remained hidden beneath the mound at Chandragiri. As his fame spread, people began to regard him not merely as a yogi, but as Mahayogi Gorakhnath, the great master of yoga. Monasteries, sacred fires, caves, and places of meditation became associated with his name. Nath yogis carried his teachings across distant regions, repeating the call that had marked his own journey, Alakh Niranjan. Yet the life of Gorakhnath cannot be contained within ordinary dates or the limits of a single biography. Different regions preserve different memories of him. In one land, he appears as the protector of a king. In another, as the humble ascetic who accepted alms from the poor. Somewhere, he awakens a disciple. Elsewhere, he breaks the pride of the powerful. For the Nath tradition, he belongs not merely to the past. He is the eternal yogi whose presence is felt wherever a seeker conquers fear, controls the mind, honors the guru, and turns inward in search of the deathless truth. The child who emerged from a discarded blessing became a blessing to the world. The boy whom no household had raised became the guide of countless households. The disciple who gave his eye for his guru received the vision to see the divine everywhere. The yogi who possessed extraordinary powers desired nothing for himself. And the master who could transform matter taught humanity that the greatest transformation was the awakening of the human heart. Even today, when the sacred name of Gorakhnath is remembered with devotion, his life seems to whisper the same timeless message. Do not think that divine grace has abandoned you merely because it lies hidden. A seed may sleep beneath the earth for years. A blessing may remain covered by doubt and neglect. Truth may appear buried beneath the refuse of the world. But when the call of the awakened master reaches it, the hidden light rises. Therefore, remember the guru with humility, practice with patience, live with compassion, and guard the flame within. Gold will perish, the body will change, kingdoms will disappear, and praise will fade. But the consciousness that Gorakhnath sought, realized, and revealed is unborn, undying, stainless, and free. Alakh Niranjan.
For similar stories like this, and to stay connected to divine wisdom, subscribe to this channel so that we can meet again.